Ben, are you ready?
I'm ready.
So I'm loving this off-bounds takeover. Thanks for inviting me for coffee or tea.
Tea, always welcome for a tea.
So tell me, you just came back from the US, right?
Yes, 2 weeks, a week for Shoptalk Spring. So the original Shoptalk, our biggest show. And then I spent a week working with a whole series of retailers in the US, getting ready for our Groceryshop show coming up in late September.
I heard Shoptalk Spring was big this year.
Yeah, but we're really pleased with how it went. It's our biggest show ever in terms of the number of people, in terms of the number of speakers, in terms of the number of stages. We launched something called a new market, all about retail media within the show. And the conversation was dynamic, the feedback's been really positive. So
and what were the key takeaways, like something?
We set up the show with an agenda about, we called it retail sort of new golden era or the golden age of retail. And the idea was the first half of this decade, commerce and retail was completely dedicated by macro trends. The tide went up, all boats rose, and it was hard for individual retailers to make too much of a difference because so great was the macroeconomic disruption. The proposition of the show was actually for the rest half of the decade, we're now in a time when the decisions made by individual retailers and retail leaders and the strategies and the approaches they take are going to make more differences. And you could look between individual categories, in individual sectors, where you can see retailers of similar scale, of similar proposition, with very different results because of the strategic route they're taking. So we tried to pick apart what do we think those elements would be for the winners of the future. How you know about your customers, how you influence your customers, how you build excitement and efficiency into the store propositions, how do you make your e-commerce as efficient as possible. So that was the principles behind the show.
And do you think AI was a big topic as well? Because it seems like we can't have a conversation without mentioning it.
We were really purposeful about not having AI as a specific topic. Rather, we wanted to make sure that AI was reflected wherever it was appropriate for the impact it was going to have on the customer. So it was no longer AI for the sake of AI. It was, how do you make stores as efficient as possible in your labor scheduling? And then how can AI help that? How can you create personalized, dynamic marketing copy? And how can AI help that? So AI was a thread throughout the show. It's almost like saying, a technology, or how do you talk about accountancy? You wouldn't have a session about Excel.
Of course.
AI is a tool now. Exactly. I think the big thing that was different was agentic AI. So this is something that is new. It's definitely on a hype curve. So we had some really interesting conversations about how you use agents to make store operations more efficient. But we also had conversations about what the potential for agent to consumer commerce is going to be, and what's the impact on a brand and influencing if there's an agent doing the shopping for you.
And one thing that happened after the show that actually happened yesterday, from the day we were recording this, is Shopify leaked. There was a leak of a Shopify document saying that before hiring anybody, make sure that there's an AI, make sure that there's not an AI that can do this job. Everybody's going to be, the performance is going to be measured on AI usage and everything. So I think...
Yeah, it is undoubted that one of the skill sets that recruiters are going to be looking for at the moment is, yes, how can you do your job, but how well can you also use AI to understand where the efficiencies are? AI, prompt engineering, programming, it's going to be a core part of anybody's capability set for the next few years.
And one thing that you mentioned about macroeconomics is that it's very hard to ignore macroeconomics now, right? Like something happened last week.
Was it the T word? Yeah.
The T word.
Yeah. So look, and this is a beautiful reflection of how dynamic our industry is, isn't it? So we were very confident in this proposition that we're in a time period where the individual actions of retailers and their strategies could have more effect on their performance. And then along comes the tariffs. We had a number of conversations about tariffs at the show. It's a topic that no one could shy away from, but Shoptalk was a week before the Rose Garden press conference. And what we found was the tariffs that have been released are wider in scope than what people were expecting, affect more countries than was expected. But the core principles, which is pricing agility, and using AI to understand margin impact as pricing moves and being able to do that quicker than ever, supply chain resilience and diversification of sourcing and leadership to have organizations that are agile. Those three principles we did talk about the Shoptalk Spring as we faced into the tariffs, they still hold, just the impact's greater than I think anyone expected.
Absolutely, I think everybody. I was trying not to panic. I'll say. But it has been scary, let's say. So everybody's going to need to be very resilient for 2025.
Yeah, resilience, absolutely. And we don't know where this is going to end. So resilience, agility, and understanding your North Star and what you stand for. Because one of the other big things we talked about was brand building versus performance marketing. If you're building a brand and you've got that customer engagement, that gives you a level of protection versus tactical performance work. So there's been so much talk in our industry about the importance of brand building, and this is another reason to show you've got to build really strong consumer brands and retail brands.
Absolutely. But now I have something that you have no idea. But you are now in the off-bound spitfire questions.
Okay.
Woo! Are you ready?
Slightly nervous.
Yeah, well, you don't have much time to think about your answers. So
Okay.
Let's go. What excites you most about Shoptalk Europe this year?
Community. So this is our third year in Barcelona. It's really building to an event that is important in people's calendar. It's part of their calendar. And whether it's our retailers or our vendors or the brands who are coming, the people are talking to us about what they are organizing. They're bringing their teams, the top-to-top meetings, the events. So seeing how this community is really building to hold this unique place in Europe for this next year on, I'm really excited to see what that looks like.
I have to say that I'm excited about the food too. That's the part, I swear, every time that I go to Shoptalk Europe, I get so much bigger.
Yeah,
because I was so happy eating.
Yeah, we look after our attendees.
No, yeah, but like Barcelona is special. Great location, yeah. What is one new addition to the agenda you think people cannot miss?
So one thing that's brand new for this year, we are dedicating an entire track on the first day to retail media. It's one of the big topics, but we're interrogating it from a number of strategic angles. It's all on one area. So if retail media is interesting for you, you can go and attend. If it's not, that's fine. There's lots of other things going on because we know it's not for everybody. But we're taking it from the brand perspective and industry analyst perspective, but also the networks. Why am I most excited? We have the managing directors or CEOs of 8 of Europe's largest and most capable retail media networks, all at the show. Nobody else brings together that level of seniority. So Amazon, Tesco, Carrefour's Unlimited, Sainsbury's 360, Svarts Group, Raver, we can go. The senior leaders are all going to be there, all going to be on stage and are all going to meet. And that is going to be a unique gathering. I'm really excited about that.
I did interview one of them and the episode went great. So I'm excited for that one too.
Great.
So Ben, but if you could only choose one session to watch, which one would it be? That's tricky, I know.
One session. Okay, shameless self-promotion in that case. Come to one session, come to Shoptalk's Retail Zeitgeist. So during the course of the year, across the team, we prepare, we interview, we onboard every single one of our speakers. We have multiple conversations. So with that, with meetings, with visits, as a team, as a content team, we have something like over 2,000 industry senior conversations every year. What we try and do is we try and take 2,000 conversations and boil them down into one 20-minute presentation. We call it our Zeitgeist. It's our State of the Nation. It's our flagship presentation. We'll do it on the keynote stage. This year will be myself and Adam Plom, who runs content in Europe. Wednesday afternoon, that will be my top tip.
I have to say that I always look forward to that one.
Thank you.
Yeah. What do you think is the biggest trend retail executives will be talking about in Barcelona? Not retail media.
No. Biggest trend is digital demand creation. What's really fun, what's really clear is we're past the time of people making kind of hyperbole, physical retail's dead. Everyone knows that the majority, for most categories, the majority of buying still happens physically. But it now seems we're at a time where the majority of people feel really comfortable with the concept that demand creation, the inspiration, the discovery happens digitally. And there's a wide range of capabilities about how good organizations are being able to drive that digital demand, whether it's through social, whether it's through search, and whether it's through kind of using Gen AI these days. So really understanding how to get people excited about my brands to ultimately drive volume through the digital ecosystem that keeps changing, I think that's going to be the number one topic of conversation.
Absolutely. I think it's almost impossible now to say physical or digital. It's kind of like all together, right?
It's just commerce.
The journey is all integrated. Any speaker or brand you're personally geeking out over?
That's a hard one. You're asking me to pick your favourite child almost, isn't it? Okay, so I'll go really quick. I'm going to do three. I'm really fortunate. I've got 3 interviews that I'm going to do. On the first day with Claude Sorel, who is CEO of Ahold Delhaize in Europe, and we're talking about how to make stores engaging and efficient. And Ahold Delhaize with Albert Heijn, they run some of the best grocery stores in Europe. So that's going to be, he's CEO, it's going to be a super fun conversation. Day 2, I'm interviewing Jordi Burch. Jordi is global head of customers and sales for Nestle. So he runs the commercial function for the world's biggest CPG. And we're going to really unpick everything that's going on, especially with digital demand creation, but also how you bring that back to the fact that 80% of their products go through physical stores. And then the third one, I am interviewing Mark Craner. Mark is European president for Mars Wrigley. And we talk about, and that's a keynote conversation, we're going to be on the keynote stage. And there's 2 reasons for doing this. Obviously, Mars Wrigley in the process of buying Kellanova. It's one of the big acquisitions in the CPG world. So hopefully we'll have a bit more clarity and be able to talk about some of that. But Mars Wrigley is growing at a rate that no other or very few large CPGs are. And we want to understand why, because CPG game at the moment is all about how do you drive volume. Well, Mars Wrigley are doing that through innovation, through partnerships, through collabs, all these things that we talked about. So we're going to really unpick the how behind that. And that's going to be on the keynote stage on Tuesday afternoon.
I think you cheated on me because you put like 3 people there, but I'll let it pass.
Right? Thank you.
In one word, what makes Shoptalk Europe different from other retail events?
Engaging.
Why is more engaging than the others?
I think we work really, really hard to create an environment that people want to be at and be present at that's more interesting than what's going on their phone and their laptop. And we do that through production and stuff. So the show is going to look very different to Shoptalk Europe that you've been to before. We're really excited about that. We pick the best speakers. We make sure that the food's great. And the whole idea is so that you're present and then you're engaged, because then you have great conversations and you unlock the learning and the collaboration and the discovery that is what Shoptalk's all about. And we've got an incredible team in Shoptalk and in Europe to create these environments that are so different to any other show that I've ever been to or worked on before.
I feel it's like a playground. It's where I go meet my friends, like it's an easy environment, it's fun.
Yeah.
And then we do business after all.
Exactly. So it's very commercial, but people tell us that they look forward to it, that they want to be at Shoptalk. And that's sometimes there's a feeling that people have to be at a forum or an event. I think what we find is people want to be at Shoptalk. We're so proud and work so hard to try and keep that way constantly.
Yeah, we all look forward to this show. It's like an event. What is the best way for first-time attendees to make the most out of it?
Oh, great question. So I guess a couple of things on this. Number one, my personal advice is plan. Prepare and plan, prepare and plan. To get the most out of your time, it's 3 really quite intense but vibrant and exciting days. But when you get there, you can get swept up in everything. You'll get the best impact if you've taken time to do your profile, you've planned the meetings that you want to have, you've done the hosted and meetup connections to get the best connection. You've looked at what content you think is most relevant rather than trying to decide between 3 or 4 different things at any one point in time. So take a bit of time to plan and prepare, then give some swing space for the serendipity at the show, which is a really important bit. But make sure you've planned and thought about it. The other thing is we realise that it's very different to other forums you might have been to before. So to help first-timers get the most out of it, we have a dedicated first-timer programme that we run. We create networking groups, we run receptions, we help with advice and support. So absolutely talk to the retailer and brand team if you're from a retailer or brand, or to your sponsorship manager about how to get involved in that first timer program. So we're here to help you get the most out of your time.
Yeah, and I can say you're gonna eat very well. Yeah, that's for me. Shoptalk Europe and food is like connected.
Intertwined.
Yeah. What is the biggest tip for the technology companies that are participating in the hosted events?
Oh, another really good question. So our meetups are our 15-minute one-to-one speed dating. It's 15 minutes, get straight to the point. Don't worry about the pleasantries. Don't spend 5 of the first 15 minutes talking about the weather, being very British, for example, or the food. You get straight to it, because what you need to do is to try and get to a point where you decide, is there something in it for me and is there something in it for them? So ditch the jargon, no bullshit. Just what do you do? How do you help? Are we useful? Go. And that feels like it's quite natural when we're in Vegas. In Europe, sometimes people are a bit more reserved at the meetings. I'd say you'll get the most benefit from it if you get straight down to business and really focus on how you can help partners.
Yeah, you have 15 minutes you have the opportunity, the 15 minutes opportunity to pitch your solution. So just go straight to the point.
Exactly.
I guess with a call to action for another meeting.
Yeah, a lot of listening. So you're trying to figure out, are you right for me and am I right for you? And you can only do that if you listen. And if you spent 5 minutes talking about the event or the party the night before, you lose that opportunity. So don't worry about that. It'll be bags of time and follow up to the niceties.
Absolutely. And what role does content creation play in shaping the Shoptalk community? Says the content guy.
I know. So we're really proud about how we do content at Shoptalk. It is different. We're really proud of how we do content at Shoptalk. It's different. It's editorial independent. There's no sponsors. There's no pay for play. We have an incredibly senior lineup, but also some great practitioners who are able to talk about how they've been able to put things in practice. But what's more important is so many of those conversations enable us to get a feeling of what's happening in the retail industry from a retailer and brand perspective. And we use that to shape the themes and the narratives of the event. So it creates a reason to bring everybody together beyond just a meeting place. So the meeting place is really important, but it creates a kind of a North Star for the show. It creates a purpose. It creates a narrative that we can explore and we can unpick and we can all learn, because learning and development is a really important part of Shoptalk. So we're very proud of doing content in a different way and in a way that we hope adds value to the industry by progressing kind of knowledge that we can then jump off into okay, now I've learned that. How do I make that happen for my business? Well, here's 20 amazing vendors who can help you actually do that in your organization and do it all in one place at one go.
Yeah, you get all the insights and you get the actionable part of it as well.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And now the last one. You did great.
Thank you. Thank you.
If Shoptalk Europe were a Spotify playlist, what would be the first song?
It would be Ready for It by Taylor Swift. That'd be the song. It's got the energy, it's got that beat, it's got the buzz, because they're buzzy shows, and everybody is ready and up for a Shoptalk.
You have to sing it to us.
No.
No? All right. So for everybody that is interested in going to Shoptalk Europe, what do you have to say to them?
Yeah. So look, we look forward to welcome you. The show this year is 2nd to the 4th of June, again in Barcelona. We've still got tickets available. There are hosted opportunities available for senior retailers and brands. So shoptalkeurope.com, and we look forward to seeing many of you then.
Great. I'll see you there.
I look forward to it.
I think your tea is going to get cold.
Cheers.
Cheers.